today.
Somebody get my child a fan, please.
Please.
Oh, somebody, anybody.
What are you using today?
Is that a bill?
So it's a calendar actually.
What?
And I folded it in two. It came out
not this. Oh,
Lord. Ingenuitive.
We love it. Welcome to... God, Lord, help us all. Welcome to a very special edition of the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. Thank you very much. And I genuinely forgot to grab anything else other than water, so we're drinking water today.
Good choice.
Come on,
right?
Hydration.
It's still too early for me to break out the drinks. So...
Please, I'm a star! Please, I'm a star! My name is Dawn Stone. I am Tampa's Galaxy Gamer Girl. I am currently drinking a slushie that I got from Wawa. And it's delicious.
Yes. Hello, guys. It is me. It is I, Mr. Talented, your favorite guy. And today, as usual, I'm just drinking a generic bottle of water sponsored by none other than Mother Let Loose. Period. Miss Lucy LaDuca, because in the words of Brandon, hydration is important.
Yes, God.
And I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I'm wearing a shirt for a queen that I've been praying will be on All Stars for 6 years. It's never going to happen, though. It is the glorious Miss Kimchi.
Oh,
Yes,
Kimberly
I love her.
Chai.
I think we all relate.
And I am drinking water.
Water.
Period.
Ow. What's happening, everybody? I am Eve the Bunny, Chicago drag artist and queen of Ivy Park. Today I am repping from the Park Trail collection. That was the second to last Ivy Park drop that came out. Cute little camel orange moment. Also because it's blistering hot in my apartment, and everything else I own from her are hoodies. I'm not wearing that today. Y'all can catch more hoodies during like the fall and winter reactions, but like you'll get some hats. You might get a nice, a beach towel next time, a flip flop, if you will. Who knows?
That feels fitting since there's something else we're filming today. You're welcome.
I know where you're going. With that.
Oh, boy, huh?
And I am drinking Pepsi, actually. I'm not drinking tea today. I decided I need a little bit more extra caffeine. So,
And it is I, Brook, the Brook Hogan of the Coke. Queer college graduate who plays way too much fucking Smash Bros. Here lately, I have actually been going through my PlayStation 2 collection, and we are now up to Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity for the PlayStation 2, because we have just finished SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 Season Mode. And today, I am also breaking from tradition. I am drinking a Smirnoff Ice Red, White, and Berry, because it may be too early for Logan to drink, but it's not too early for me to drink. East Coast represent.
Just in time for 4th of July.
It's seasonal. It's festive. It's great around the year.
It was a week ago. So, I think it's fine.
It's great around the year. Great alcohol.
Great. Love
and
it.
Regardless, I am very excited to talk about All Stars Night.
Allegedly. Everything in this video is alleged.
Alleged.
Read the ticker. Just read the ticker.
Well, I leave that up always. But yes, we are talking about speculations, rumors for RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9. So if you don't want to know about the cast or the goings-on of that season, thank you. We got plenty more content to go watch. So go do all of that. Thank you very much. This entire video is going to be spoilers and speculations. So
that part.
But so what we know, we're just going to dive in. What we know is that All Stars 9 is currently filming. From what I understand, we are on, I think, day 2. So the first challenge should be filming today. Or this is day 1 and the entrances are happening today, and whatever the twist is being announced. So
So has any of them died on set yet, or no?
no,
Ugh.
not yet.
Has anyone done any gravity-defying moves on stage yet?
Probably Jorgeous.
Sounds about right.
Spoilers.
Here.
Wasn't
Well,
ready.
there you go. Someone who RuPaul enjoys very much, who is short and gorgeous.
Whose name you
Kenny
did not
Michaels.
say 10 seconds ago.
That I definitely did not say 10 seconds ago. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the cast. So there are 8 girls that we are very, very certain are there filming. And there are 2 other girls that we are speculating about. They may or may not be there. There was a list of 3 queens that were alleged to be on as well. One of them has since debunked herself, which I love.
I'm salty.
But I also hate.
I'm really mad about it. So Tace from Drag Race UK Season 2 debunked herself, saying, hey, I am not in Los Angeles filming Drag Race. So there's
Would have been my winner.
We'll just have to wait just a little bit longer.
Global All-Stars, I'm telling y'all, like, I'm pretty sure if she's not, I would be surprised. But shall we go for it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Great. So we're going to
my
go
God.
in a random order that I came up with. And the first queen that we're going to be talking about is Plastique Tiara from
Yay.
season 11. She came in 8th.
She got the pretty girl placement. Love the pretty girl placement. Fun fact about Plastique, she was the first ever like drag queen, not that I like saw, but like on that I saw like on my television other than like a really campy drag queen. So like she really like broadened my horizons on what I thought what a drag queen was, and was like, and I was like, oh, I could do this because of Plastique. So.
She's fine.
That's an interesting take. And not a bad one. This is a very interesting take.
I think Plastique is talented. I think she's gorgeous. And that's undeniable. I have never been absolutely wowed by anything Plastique has done on TV. I think it's very impressive the way that she's built up her following, specifically on TikTok. I think she's incredibly talented when it comes to makeup and the illusion of drag. She is just not, at this current moment, she is just not anyone that has ever done anything to blow my socks off. But I understand why she's here. People have been wanting her for years, so...
Not to mention she has like 8 million followers on TikTok or something.
Exactly. It's something ridiculous like that.
It's really interesting to me that Plastique is returning. I'm not mad at it, like, at all. Like, I don't think she's like a wasted slot or anything. It's just looking at this cast, and based on what we know, it's going to be a smaller cast compared to, I believe, any other All-Star season that isn't All-Star 7. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting to me that, spoiler alert when we're talking about it in a second, but we have 3 queens from season 11 on this list, which, you know, could be interesting. And also, we've had a lot of the season 11 girls already come back for All-Stars, so it's kind of fun watching them just like, okay, who's next off of our season 11 sheet? Okay, so for All-Stars, we're going to call Sugar, we're going to call Mercedes, and we're going to call Honey.
That would be perfect for me, honestly.
They are literally the only ones left outside of Brook and the one we don't talk about.
I will say that I think it's a little bit funny when it comes to how they do some of the casting, that I know that a lot of times some of these people aren't like their first pick. Maybe their first pick was someone that they decided that they didn't want to come back or whatever. But I love that. I can't remember who told me this. I don't think it's anybody that we have to drink for. Usually, if I name drop, we have to take a drink. I don't think there's somebody I have to take a drink for. But someone I feel like told me that a lot of how WoW tries to work when it comes to casting some of these girls, like even if us sitting here going, how did this person get this spot, or why did they ask this person? A lot of times I've noticed that they have really focused a lot on the people that are close to LA first, as opposed to a lot of the other girls that are so much farther out. And I was like, looking at this spoiler cast, I was like, girl, half of this cast is Vegas.
It's
I was like,
very Voss Presents.
I was like, half
Drag
this
Race
cast is worth the
All-Stars.
I was like, half this cast is worth the world. So I was like, oh, okay.
Someone on Reddit literally replied to the thread of All Stars 9 saying Voss presents All Stars 9.
Wow.
That is kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, it does. It seems like it's very much what it is. Like where all the entertainers and all the people in the cast are all like great and talented people, but it is one of those where it's kind of like, so that's the cast. Okay.
Voss really didn't need all of their talent right now.
I guess that's what it is. Maybe they're taking a little like winter break hiatus, and they were like,
well, they've got a whole new cast going right now. Work the World, I think, in Europe currently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about the cast on its entirety. What about Plastique?
She's pretty.
She's very pretty.
Stupidly pretty.
She's very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'll give her that too.
I will say this. One thing that is kind of a little bit of was a little bit of discourse, I guess I say, in the drag community, maybe like 20-ish years ago, was like the difference, I would say, between a quote unquote drag queen and someone who considers themselves like a quote unquote female impersonator.
Mm-hmm.
Because those two things do have two different, connotations to them. And it's interesting for me because I see Plastique more as a female impersonator than I do a drag queen, quote unquote. But it's one where I wonder how the fandom is going to receive her coming back possibly for a second time, because I will remember iconically Raja was saying that Miss Plastique was resting on pretty, and I know that that's kind of been ingrained into a lot of the Drag Race fandom through RuPaul and Michelle. Resting on pretty isn't a good thing, but I do think there is something to be said with the talent that comes with, completely changing yourself over to a completely other gender. So I wonder if maybe she'll get a little bit more respect on her drag, quote unquote, when she gets back for All Stars.
I also hope to see a little bit more diversity in her comedy, because I remember last time she did really, really play into her Vietnamese heritage for a lot of her jokes, which usually, like, I kind of found it was weird that they were kind of harping on the fact that she was doing that when they praise a lot of other people or give the critique of use that to your advantage. But then when she did, they didn't like it. So I'm really interested to see if she's going to be like diversifying her comedic skills this time around on Drag Race.
Mr. Talented, what about you?
Yeah, Miss Plastique, she's pretty, she's gorgeous, she's stunning. I agree with what you said earlier, Logan. She's never done something to completely blow me away. So I'll be waiting for her to do that if she is actually there. Now, I will say I'm kind of skeptical about her being there allegedly because she has been on several of these casts in the past already and she has never been there. So I'm kind of like, but I'm happy for her. She's a good social media queen, great pictures. So yeah, hopefully she just gives me something, a little bit special.
Yeah, I think I probably like Plastique more than anybody else based on what everybody said. I'm very excited to have her back. I think she didn't get enough credit in her first season. I felt like they were pretty harsh on her a few times with things that like were perfectly acceptable. Plus, it's worth noting she is the 4th most followed queen from Drag Race history on Instagram. I think only Trixie, Katya, and Bianca have more followers than her. So I think that's a big selling point for her to be on this cast. And I think it's something that actually might help her in the game. So, but I'm excited for her. I think she has a lot of potential.
I want to say this comment too. Am I gonna pull out this card already this early? I guess I will. Okay. Me personally, when it comes to RuPaul's Drag Race, And one of the things I've been noticing over the past couple of seasons is that has been something that's factored into their decision making when it comes to picking certain people or putting certain people on is like follower count and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And like, to be honest with you, that kind of annoys me like a
I agree.
lot. Because in my mind, I look at it this way. I could get 1 million followers tomorrow because I decide to upload a video of a potato, or something like that, So it's there is work that does come behind social media management. I will completely agree with that. But then there is a lot of it that is luck of the draw, and so it does end up kind of being like a handicap a little bit, like that someone automatically gets a little bit more of a boost up or a little bit more recognition just because they have more followers than somebody else does. That was how I felt with season 15 with Amethyst and everybody showing up, and like really the only credit that they even had on their Drag Race resume was I went viral on TikTok once, and I'm just kind of like, okay, well, what if TikTok shuts down tomorrow, girl? Then what else do you have? And like, I think Plastic, like I said, is gorgeous. I think she's talented. I think she works it out. I do think that she got a huge uptick in followers after she got off of Drag Race, when she got on TikTok, when she was doing all those transformations of her looking half naked and stuff, and then coming out with an OnlyFans and all that other kind of stuff. So it's one of those things where I'm kind of like, if she wouldn't have done any of those things, I don't think she would be fourth highest amount of followers out of every girl in Drag Race. But I mean, you got to work your system and work your angles, you know what I mean? And it's a hustle, regardless of if you're on the show or when you get off the show, So more power to her for having the followers. But me personally, I'm like, I've never been that big of a girl that's just like, oh my God, I'm totally gonna 350% root for her because she has a super high follower count. I always like, okay, well, I need you to show me why you have that follower count. And if you can't, or if you're, doing a where my dingling goes like Sugar and Spice does, and that somehow gets you 2 million followers or whatever, that's great, girl. But I might not give you $1 if I tip you at the gig. You know what I mean? Like that's just me.
Let's move on from Plastique because there are 9 other people to talk about. So,
but we're tearing this girl apart.
I know.
Not me.
I don't even remember who's next. I made this, and I don't remember who's next in the lineup. It's Miss Vanjie. Vanjie, the girl that sent her home.
Quick question. Do you have your chopsticks?
Wait, why? You were talking
I don't need her back. Why is she here?
She's never done All Stars.
And
she's only done one full season.
You cannot say that. You cannot say that about the star of Vanjie's 24 Hours of Love.
I think I just did.
How dare you say that of breakout star of All Star Shore, Vanessa Vanjie Mateo?
When you're a breakout of a show that no one even remembers occurring, I mean, I'm just...
How dare you talk that way about star of Drag Me to Dinner, Vanessa Vanjie Mateo?
Wasn't she in like one episode of Drag Me to Dinner?
Yes, because everyone was in one episode of Drag Me to Dinner.
Correct. I wasn't correcting you or like trying to say... I'm just saying, here's my thing, okay? Vanjie has been on 2 seasons. Yes, she was the first bit of season 10, okay? But like, even then, she never really left. Like, we were constantly reminded of her the entire season. And then season 11, and then other things. And I'm just so tired of her right now. I want someone else, especially considering these aren't even the only 2 season 11 girls on the cast. We got another one coming up. I would have loved to have, like, more diversity in the seasons that are represented, especially on such a small cast. So, like... Yeah. Give me someone from like season 3, season 6, etc. Right?
Most of them have already been cast. That's the thing.
Sure, but
I want to disagree with Brook here because that's what I do, I guess. But also because it'll be 5 years at the point that this airs since we've seen Vanjie, and she had a 1-year break in between her seasons, and she had a significant glow up, like huge glow up. I want to see what's happened 5 years later. Imagine if we had the same sort of sentimentality that you shouldn't be back on All Stars early. Then we wouldn't have gotten Shangela on All Stars 3, and she was great on that season. So I'm excited to see what Vanjie's going to bring. I think that she's super talented, and I think she is one of the strongest representations of RuPaul's brand right now. So I think she's going to be great.
When I think of Vanjie, like, I think that she is like the representation of what Shangela was for the franchise for a very long time.
Yep.
Like, she kind of took that place once Shangela got to her place of superstardom, and I think Vanjie has also like kind of taken that same kind of like mantra of, yeah, I went out first, but then I came back. I slayed. Did I win any challenges? No, but I did a great job. I had a great showing. Also, she's a Tampa girl originally, so like I am biased. And she, like, from my small little hometown, she's literally the pageant winner of my town before she, like, right before she went on Drag Race. Fun fact. So like that's really, really cool, IMO. And I think that having her back on our screen as the viral sensation that she is really good for marketing for Drag Race, as well as the fact that she is one of those queens that can pull any. She's one of those, like, you can say something, like, it doesn't even matter what it is, and it will like stick in your mind because of how funny it is. Like, very like Alyssa Edward-isms or anything like that, where like literally like where she said, "Thank you, Miss Vanjie. I thank myself." Like, I love her. She's iconic. She's a legend, obviously. And I mean, why wouldn't we have her back when she literally had her name on RuPaul's neck for like the past 4 or 5 years? Literally a Vanjie necklace. Like, it would be dumb not to have her back.
I'm going to be the complete flip side of the coin. And I'm actually going to agree with Brook, which is very funny. I agree with you. We don't need Vanjie back. We really don't. Okay. And I'll say it in my opinion to this. I think I remember saying this. I don't know if I said it on the recording or if it was after we cut cameras. And I think it may have been when we were doing All Stars. But I said that Ru has this thing where she'll pick certain girls that, regardless of what they do, they can sneeze into the wind. And she thinks it's the most hilarious thing since sliced bread. And she will baby them. And it's funny because Alyssa is one of the biggest examples of that. Mm-hmm. And so there's other queens and other people have commented on the fact that, like, I mean, Alyssa can kind of quote unquote do no wrong with Ru because at the end of the day, it's just her personality or, you know, or her charisma, which is perfectly fine. And I agree. And I feel like that's the issue. And I feel like that's the thing with Vanjie is Vanjie's personality and charisma is what Ru is mostly attracted to. So at the end of the day, regardless of what Vanjie does, Ru is still going to love it. For me, the issue is the fact that when it comes to a competition standpoint, she isn't doing anything that is just ridiculously above and beyond where I feel like she's going to show up and just clear these other girls out, other than her making Ru laugh. I personally said I feel like that the main reason why she even came back when they brought her back, since, I mean, Ru doesn't really bring girls back, was because of the fact that Ru loved her so much. You know what I mean? Not so much because of the fact that we were like, oh my God, we think Vanjie is so amazingly talented and we missed out on this huge talent. Let's bring her back another season to see what she has. I was like, I think Ru just really started taking a shine to her right when she left and was kind of like, oh wait, no, maybe I want to see this girl some more. It makes me think of how, like I said, she was with Candy when she was about to eliminate Candy, then she kept Candy. It makes me feel like how Ru is with Jimbo sometimes. So for me, it's like, and even thinking of when she came back the second time, she did great, but her catalog still on her runway was 95% bodysuits, and they kept clocking her on in almost every other episode. And she still made top 5, but it was one of those things where it was like, it was very apparent that she was 5th out of that top 5. It wasn't like she made top 5 and she could have came and actually still won the whole thing. I did not see Vanjie making it past top 5 when she made top 5. And so for this, if she comes back and if this is real, I would love to see a little bit more merit in her drag when it comes to a level up. Not so much, I'm the Miss Vanjie you all know and love, I'm back on your TV screens, let's all have a good time kind of a thing. Because that's cute and fine, but that's just me as an Aries, that's just me as a competitive person and as a drag entertainer. I'm like, if y'all are all showing up and we're finna do this like gladiators, like the Olympics, like the best of the best, I want to see y'all be the best of the best. I don't want to see you schmoozing with the judges and that gets you, you know, by on certain things. You know what I mean? I feel like Vanjie has had a little bit of the leeway to be able to do that. So am I against her being back? A little. Because and I guess I put it this way too. Like when it came to the Shangela comparison, I really see her and Shangela in two different fields. Like I both see them as comeback queens, but I see a little bit more merit in Shangela than I do with Vanjie, and that's just me personally, and from what I've seen on the TV show. I don't know her personally. I haven't seen her drag outside of the show, other than like watching performances and stuff like that. I didn't know of her before she got on Drag Race, so it's okay that she's here, but I'm not completely jumping for joy for it.
Yeah, Eve, I can kind of see where you're coming from. For me, she's great TV. You know, she does what she needs to do. Great confessionals, the looks, the runways. Meh. She's a good performer as well. Yeah. The moment that she really blew me away, I guess you could say, was her Queens Everywhere verse. That verse is such a great verse. Unfortunately, her performance of the verse is what held her back, but that verse is just a great verse. So yeah, you know, it would be nice to see her back. I hope this time she has something new than, you know, the same old, you know. It's Miss Vanjie, you know, as you kind of said, Eve. So yeah, I just want something a little bit more unexpected from her.
Let's talk about Cameron Michaels finally allegedly coming back. Allegedly has been asked for every All-Stars since All-Stars 4. And now finally maybe back.
Can we just go ahead and get out of the way that is a fine individual? Like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to say that. I've been lusting after Cameron forever, and we all know that I am the resident clown fucker of the group. So, I was like, oh, Cameron's back. Okay. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have any problem watching her getting ready in the workroom. I know. Shame me if you want to. I don't care. I'm grown. I'm older than everybody on this panel.
No.
I will say one of my favorite Cameron Michaels moments is actually from a Wild Presents Plus series. It's when her and Asia did, I think it's called Do It Queens or something like that.
We're gonna build a brick set from IKEA.
We're gonna build a brick from IKEA. Literally, if you have not watched the IKEA building episode of their series on Wild Presents Plus, it is comedy gold, and it was the first time that I truly was like, I get who you are, Cameron. Like what Mohart said in the finale, you're that girl. I know who that girl is now. Like, I saw it.
I want to see it on the show, though, you know? Like, I will withhold my judgments, but we all remember the season 10 finale when all the girls kind of came for Cameron a little bit. We're kind of like saying, you aren't really real and you were kind of fake. So I kind of want to see that, you know? Based on this cast, we don't have, in my opinion, any, like, villains, at least nowadays.
Oh, if it's the full cast of 10, we sure do.
Yes, we do.
I'm counting the 8 that we have confirmed.
Yes, we do.
Nobody's confirmed.
Well, okay, the 8 that we are, like, pretty sure of. I'm not counting the other 2 as of right now, but
yeah.
I hope that they don't make her the villain.
I don't know, it'd be refreshing.
So for me,
I feel like it would be expected, though. Like, everyone's like, oh, we already heard all this shady tea about how Cameron was behind the scenes, this, that, and the other, and then we haven't seen her since, like, that reunion. Like, that, you know, that finale reunion when everybody did it. So, like, for her to come back and all of a sudden be the villain again, it's like...
They didn't stop doing it to Jeremy. That's all I have to say. If they do it to Cameron, would not be the first time.
Yeah, I'll be very quick with my thoughts on Cameron. I personally do not think Cameron is a great TV personality for Drag Race, but what I am excited for with Cameron is her first season, she brought all-star worthy looks. So now that she's really booked and blessed and making lots of money, I cannot wait to see what looks she's going to bring this season. I'm calling it. I think she's going to have the best looks this season.
I can she would be my Fame Game winner if they had a Fame Game situation. I'd be like, yeah.
I mean, and we haven't even gotten to the fact that she won 6 lip syncs in a row.
Yeah.
6.
1.
Like,
She's
and they were
she's
all
the
for her life.
she's the U.S. Brooklyn Heights.
True.
Yeah.
Huh?
They,
Well, she was
they both
she was
worked at
on
the same
before
bar in
Well, they were
Nashville.
both. Well, they are. Yeah, they're literally from the same city, and we're on subsequent seasons. So.
I kind of always see her as like the U.S. version of Brooklyn Heights, even when it comes to like their performance styles. It's very hairy. It's very, you know what I mean. It's very It's very hairography. It's very commanding of the stage. They are like when it comes to stage presence, they have it in spades, and it's
Blonde
like
and powerful.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
even though this photo she's wearing black hair, but like I think of her as blonde and powerful. Like that's.
And I mean, like, even when she came out on All Star 6 as a lip sync assassin too, like that not the song itself, but the look she turned that episode. I think about that to this day.
Especially
The look
That's-
is good.
That was
But
one thing
still-
that I hated, unfortunately, when everyone kind of ganged up on her when it came to the finale, because, I mean, of course, that's stuff that we all couldn't really see because it was all behind the scenes stuff. But, I mean, from what we saw, we were like, okay, I feel like that she's really putting out strong stuff. She's a strong lip syncer. Like, her makeup is good. Like, you know, and then to find out all that stuff afterwards, you're kind of like, oh, no, is she one of the mean girls? Like, no, I actually really liked you. You know what I mean? And I honestly feel like that I wanted to chalk a lot of it up to probably just, like, social awkwardness and stuff like that. I don't feel like that she was just deliberately like smiling in these girls' faces and then talking shit about them behind them, you know what I mean, or something like that. That just, I don't know. That just didn't come across for her. So like, if she is coming back, I really would hope that she got a little bit more redemption when it came to her character, because I feel like that was something that a lot of people started to question her on once the girl started pulling receipts. So like, it'd be cute if she got a little bit of redemption for that.
Yeah.
Miss Michaels, she's gonna be the hardest one for me to believe that she's actually there. One, as you already said, Logan, she's been on several iterations of several All Stars casts in the past. And two, it's like, isn't she kind of not doing drag right now?
She is now again.
Yeah, I think that she stopped apparently because, from what I heard, her partner passed away, and so she was taking some time. Yeah, so she was taking some time from drag to kind of just like I guess, you know, focus on herself and stuff like that. But she was in that she is in that challenge thing with Jada.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people kept speculating that she was gonna be on. So it's funny that we're talking about it on the day that we are, because the cast of the Challenge USA dropped today, and a lot of people thought she was gonna be on that. She's not, but a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, she's gonna be on the Challenge," and then she's just not. I mean,
No, I think it's like a specialty thing.
Yeah, she was. It was like it was like a Paramount Plus crossover, whatever thing.
It was just an ad.
It was just basically an ad, but
yeah. But I like her. I mean, she's fine. She's okay. She's a great performer, a great lip syncer.
Yeah.
Great looks her first time around. So I'll be intrigued to see what else she has to offer in terms of performing and her looks.
Lip sync down. I'm very excited to see her perform.
It's funny that you said that. It's funny, Mr. Town, that you said that you kind of thought that she stopped doing drag or whatever, because I'm just like, oh wow, that would be a really like badass setup if like kind of almost like India Farah, like if everyone thought she quit drag and everyone walked into the workroom and the last person to walk in is Cameron and they're like, wait a minute, what? Like that would actually be a really good gag for the first episode.
I don't think she'll be the last one to walk in, because I think we all know who will probably be the last one to walk in.
Who?
And we'll talk about her a little bit later. But let's talk about Nina West. Nina West.
I'm really excited to see Nina West back on our screens after 5 years again. Another season 11 girl.
If this cast is real, they are now breaking the record for the most number of contestants to return to Drag Race. with 9.
They basically picked everybody that Raja had an issue with. So we're gonna bring you all back at the same time.
Except for Sugarcane.
Yeah,
And
except for
Evie
Sugar.
Yeah.
Evie,
She just didn't know where she was.
But I'm a huge Nina West fan. I think she beat Silky in that lip sync. I don't care, even if she wasn't great herself. Should have been up Sasha if anything, but we move. Regardless, she has been booked and blessed since season 11. She has been doing a ton of stuff. She has a working contract with Nickelodeon, doing some voiceover work for them. She's been doing the national tour of Hairspray.
When she announced that she was stepping away from the national tour of Hairspray, I was like, Mama's on All Stars.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the only reason I can justify in my brain her leaving Hairspray is to go do All Stars.
Yeah, so she's been on Hairspray for a minute too.
For
2 years.
Yeah, and she's very active on TikTok, like the Hairspray tour TikTok. So when they were saying she was leaving, I'm like, oh, I know what's going on. That's
I mean, like, not to mention, she's also a former Entertainer of the Year, which is like one of the biggest pageants in the world, and my personal favorite pageant system. So, like, I'm really excited to see what she brings this time. Hopefully, like, some better looks now that she probably has a bigger budget. And I hope that she's able to successfully apply, not that saying that she never like didn't successfully apply, but successfully apply some more campy looks outside of like maybe like there were actually a few really good Nina West looks, but like I don't want to see like hopefully she can sew better is pretty much what I'm trying to say and give a better design challenge look.
Well, should we talk about what the alleged twist is? Because I do think that does
We're talking about it at the end.
Okay, sounds good.
So I want to talk about Nina because she's actually the person that I'm the most skeptical about. Like I just never thought we'd see her back. And so if she's really on, I'm happy, but surprised. I just, like Brooke said, she's been booked and blessed. I thought she didn't need to rely on Drag Race, and she doesn't, but I'm excited if she's still doing it. But for me, what's interesting is I think the show really was surprised with how well received she was. And I think they regretted maybe not giving her her flowers. And in fact, I have always felt like they tried to replicate the Nina West scenario the following season. And I think they wanted to have their 2.0 Nina West win the following season until some controversy came out about them. So what's a better Nina West 2.0 than actually Nina West 2.0? So
yeah, I would completely agree with that, David, because like I said, I have I'm very what's the word? I guess I'll say Nancy Drew when it comes to like production, when it comes to RuPaul's Drag Race, because I do feel like that sometimes, you know, I can see the strings being pulled, you know, and how certain things are going. And I agree. I do feel like that Nina was somebody that I was not expecting to have to come back because she doesn't need to. But I completely agree that I feel like that possibly the reason why she's coming back is because Drag Race and production didn't really anticipate her blowing up as big as she did and as well as she did, and almost like, okay, we're going to bring you back, so this way we'll make sure that we give you the run that you deserve, kind of a situation. Because I would not be surprised to see Nina come back and for some reason just be winning every single challenge, and I'd be like, well, that makes sense. But her iconography is like unbound. Like we can talk right now about Drag Race France with Mami Wata's talent performance that she did, which was a nod to Nina's moving dress talent that she did for EOI that was like ridiculously, you know what I mean, known all throughout the drag community. So it's like she's put her stamp on drag in itself and Drag Race. So if she comes back and she is on, I'm like, okay, Miss West, you know, we're gonna see what you're gonna do now. We're gonna see how you're gonna really show the girls how it's supposed to be done. I'm gonna be a little bit excited about that. I'll be a little excited.
Yeah, I agree with everything. Ooh.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now you're fine. I agree with everything you guys are saying. You know, she's an icon, of course. amazing things after her show, after her season. Great queen. I would like to see her improving her lip syncing. And I feel like with all her experience outside of the show and the different things that she has done, I would assume that she's working on it. So I'll assume that, she has improved on that. So I like to see her, turn out a few cute lip syncs. But yeah, improve on her looks. And yeah, I think she'll have a good glow up. I think she'll do a good job.
While we were talking about Nina West, just before we move on, I do want to say, like, maybe she's coming back because of all the controversy that's been happening with family-friendly drag.
Yep.
And because think about
that's why she's on the cast.
Because maybe I'm not saying that like she's coming back because she's losing gigs or anything, but maybe to be a representation to show that yes, drag can be for all ages. Here is a very good example of a drag queen that caters to a younger audience and is very PG. So that way we're able to have someone like Nina on this cast. Honestly, is a really, really great representation for what we need in the US for drag right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That would make a lot of sense, because if in any way, shape, or fashion someone tried to pull up any kind of drag race reference, be like, look what the drag queens are doing. Production could easily be like, boom, Nina West. And you were saying, and they really can't do anything.
They literally have.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is coming from like a working drag queen in Florida, like where we're getting the most of it. Like, and I was like, oh wait, like this could be a great representation for like people to show that drag is not as bad as what they're seeing. But I think that's going to but that's why I'm like coming back to Drag Race, where they make unintentional fisting jokes for a family-friendly drag queen. I'm like, that could be kind of scary. I think she is kind of gonna have to really teeter, because even like I remember she was like still like kind of cursing up a storm a little bit on Drag Race 11. But I think now that she's on All Stars, she's really gonna have to bite her tongue and make sure that she is the family-friendly drag queen on this. So I think it's going to be kind of a little bit of a challenge for her in that sense.
Something makes me think that she might come back and be like the family-friendly version of Alexis Michelle.
Probably.
Not as big of a BFF. He's just already.
Yeah. Hello, Des.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, like gorgeous. I mean, are we surprised?
No, we're not surprised.
Oh, wait, quick. Can I tell a quick funny story about Jorgeous real quick? Okay. So I went to I was in Roscoe's in Chicago, and Jorgeous was in town, and I messaged her and I was like, hey girl, we need to hang out, whatever. She was like, okay, cool. So she was out and met me at Roscoe's, and the entire time while she was in Chicago, she kept trying to find somebody to hook up with. So the entire time she would get mad at me and other people because she would keep hitting on people on Grindr, but people would know who she was. And I'm like, yes, because we know who this 5'2" Puerto Rican child is that looks like someone accidentally like dropped them off at the bus drop off from school at the bar. Literally. You're not hiding from anybody. And for some reason she could not mentally get her head around the fact that people could tell that she was Jorgeous out of drag. I just thought that was ridiculously hilarious.
Lord. I mean, Jorgeous in and out of drag is the same person anyways, just like with a little bit of red eyeshadow on. Like, let's just be him for real. Like, and I mean, she talks like this, and I'm obsessed with her. I'm on it. Like, she's so iconic. Like, another one that I always think about is her What You Worship runway, when she came out with that giant blunt and that outfit dressed as the Pope, and
the Pope of marijuana.
That was like one of the best looks she had that entire season.
So good. Yeah. And I was like, Jorgeous, this is the camp that I needed from you. Thank you.
Personally, I think it's way too soon for Jorgeous. I would have liked to see her in a few years.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. I think there's other people from her season that could have come back and been successful. I don't know if she will.
And there is another one that I think will be successful that we'll talk about shortly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think she'll be okay. I don't know. I don't have a lot of thoughts on Jorgeous.
Personally, I am a fan. However, I am not a huge fan because I am now going to have to hear the phrase "Helotus" for at least 5-6 episodes minimum, probably way more. Like,
We heard it once on season 14.
Yeah, she didn't say hello to us that often.
no,
It was
but
once.
I mean,
It was when
other
she
queens
walked
have said
in.
other things more
She
times.
said it more than once.
she said it way more than once. What are y'all talking about? I heard it
I've
once.
heard Vanjie more times than I've heard hello to us.
We've heard hallelujah more times. We've heard, oh my
Literally.
God.
I like Helotus. It's my favorite thing about Jorgeous.
I think hello to us is cute.
it is.
Her. I'm also sick of hearing hallelujah, and I'm sick of hearing all these other stock catchphrases that are just repeated ad nauseum.
Okay, stop coming for every Drag Race acting challenge, okay?
Clock that tea.
Because literally there's at least one look over there every episode now. Like, let's just be honest.
I'm gonna change the intro to this podcast, and now it's gonna be Helotus.
Mini tea, mini Drag Race tea. Get your cups out because I'm going to name drop. So, about 10 to 12ish years ago, when I first moved to Chicago, me and Dita, who's my sister, ended up getting really close and working together at this bar called Spin up here in Chicago. And it was funny because when this was right after her season, before season 5. So in that interim period, she told me that one thing that a lot of the Drag Race girls were trying to work on doing was creating these little catchphrases and these memeable words and phrases and stuff. So like they can be like their little taglines, almost like kind of like how in the first 5 or 6 seasons of Drag Race, everybody had little drag nicknames for their fans, kind of a thing. So like, it was funny because Dita tried like 1 or 2 different things out that didn't work, but she was like, essentially, that's where the whole hallelujah and all this other kind of stuff. She was like, it's just branding. It's just all branding. And I was like, okay, I see it. So I'm like, it's interesting that we still got, I mean, even though we do get annoyed by it, we do remember Helotus and think of Jorgeous, you know what I mean? Or we do remember Vanjie and think of Vanjie. So it's like, there's a little method to the madness, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
This is my queen.
Yeah.
This is my girl. I love her down. Like, I just love her. Like, I really just love her. You guys should have seen my reaction when she came out as an assassin on All Stars 8. Like, I was screaming. Like, this is my girl. I love her. But I can't be biased.
Ooh.
The things I want her to I do agree it's kind of too soon. I personally feel like girls need to wait like probably like 3 years. But what I would love for her to work on, better runways. And this is no shade, but I don't want her to have a questionable win. Like, I want her to have a win when it's like, absolutely, she deserved that win. I don't want her to have a questionable win. And also, she is a great performer, great lip syncer, and this was her issue with her lip sync against Lala on All Stars 8. She's not really good at emoting and changing her face. Like, her body is doing amazing movements, but her face is just kind of there. But if she works on those things, I feel like she'll do good. I mean, she's one of RuPaul's favorites, of course. But, you know, I love her. I can't wait to see her again if this is real.
Helotus.
Jorgeous.
Gaga Tondra.
Hi, Gorge.
Gottmik.
Gorge.
Can I just
And
say,
welcome to an All-Stars edition of No Gorge. And what I have to say to that is no Gorge.
I just want to know, how is she going to do this without Violet holding her hand?
I don't know, and I don't think it's going to be successful.
I mean, I guess I know. I ain't gonna say no.
You know,
Clock that tea.
as a fan of Gottmik, I'm gonna leave it at that. I do not like all of her choices, but as a drag performer, I do respect what she brings to Drag Race. However, not fully excited to have Mick back. Also, to be clear, I believe Gottmik uses she, her in drag, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
she does.
Just making sure. Okay. But I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, Mick is great, but in terms of, like, as a performer, well, not as a performer, as a queen, and there's just something about her being on this cast that's just like, you know,
She's the odd one out.
it feels weird.
She's the odd one out, is really honestly what it is. For me, as someone who appreciated what Mick did on season 13, and as someone who is very appreciative of, you know, finally having trans men represented on Drag Race, based on the things that I've heard and the things that I've seen and the things that I've seen people call out, I'm going to name drop your sister Dita this time, Eve. Don't worry.
Oh, everyone take a drink. No, wait.
Can I take it right?
Yeah, no, for once, Eve, you take that drink because I'm name dropping your sister.
Alright.
The things specifically that Dita has said and experienced, I'm not the most thrilled for Mick. I think, unfortunately, for my personal view of this cast, I do think Mick will do very well. Of the people on this cast, I feel like she is one of the more well-rounded competitors. We saw that on season 13, and the reason she didn't win is because Simone exists. So, I mean, she does feel out of place on this cast. I'm gonna be honest. I don't necessarily know who I would have replaced her with, but she feels out of place.
I'm
For
actually
me.
feel
gonna kind of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, girl.
Oh no, I was gonna say I feel like that. I agree with what you're saying. Is she feels out of place in the cast. I do feel like as well she might be one of the instances that I was talking about where, like I said, RuPaul's Drag Race production kind of wants to be like, oh, we didn't realize that you were going to do as well as you did on your season. Let's save an all-stars for you to come back and we'll give this to you, kind of a situation. I feel like that if this cast is correct and Gottmik's in it, Gottmik might get pushed to the front of this. Like, I see that. I feel like that would be the only reason why they're there, is because it's almost like RuPaul's Drag Race owes them something.
There's 4 people that I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who the top 4 is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
and it's that left square. If I'm being honest, it's those 4 in that left square.
If I'm being like completely honest as well, I think like I actually kind of disagree with a little bit of your points, because we do have to put in the fact that Gottmik has a lot of accomplishments and talents outside of Drag Race before she was even considered or even on.
Absolutely.
Like she's an extremely talented makeup artist that she's been doing makeup on celebrities for years. She went to cosmetology school. She also went to design school, so she does know what she's doing. When it comes to creating a look, creating an outfit. Is she not the best performer? No, but she has also been performing with Violet. And I know we are not the biggest fan of Violet, but we can't deny that Violet is a sickening performer and has probably taught Gottmik a lot in terms of that. And I think that seeing where she is now, which I think is a little bit less of what I think of Gottmik when she was on the show. I think she's in this new era where she is going for a little bit more of a typical drag queen than the artsy clownery that she was doing previously. I think she is going to bring some really sickening looks. I think that she does have a talent for, like, she won Snatch Game as Paris Hilton and she was hilarious. So we can't like take that out of consideration. And again, this is like, and I think that what you guys are saying are absolutely true. But I think that also she does have kind of a good place in this cast, because from looking at the 6 queens we have on here so far, I mean, they're all pretty girls. Like 5 out of the 6 like are known for like being look queens. So
Which one's not?
Nina West.
Nina.
Just making you call her out.
Like, not because Nina West is like, she's a camp queen compared to the rest who are more glamour. So like, you know, it's
but you wouldn't consider Gottmik a look queen?
I do consider Gottmik a look queen. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like, I'm
He
saying,
said 5 of the 6 on screen currently are known for being looks queens. The one that's not is Nina.
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, sorry if like that got mixed up there.
No, I thought you said 4
Got
instead of 5.
mixed
That's my fault.
Up
Yeah.
there.
Mixed up. But I think that she like is a very talented person. I just want to see where she is now with her performing.
And I want to clarify that I feel that Gottmik is very talented as well too. I'm gonna put my personal connection with the entertainer aside and just focus on just the drag. For me, like I feel like they do give what needs to be given. I don't think there were too many times other than that design challenge where she had all those flags on her body, where like she didn't really fully embody the assignment. She gave the assignment and does what needs to be done. But I do, like I said, feel like that it's just almost one of those kind of things. Like during her season, I knew that they wanted to have Gottmik there, but part of me wondered if they realized that Gottmik had a viable chance of making top 3 that season. And when Gottmik did make top 3 that season, I feel like they already had in their mind, well, Simone is already going to get this. So maybe we need to bring Gottmik back at another time where they can really like shine on their own and dominate. And I feel like that's the reason why they're here now. Not saying that they're not talented enough or their drag isn't good enough for them to be here, but I do feel like it was one of those where it's like, they wanted to put her in a cast of people that didn't have so many heavy hitters in it because she had to go up against Candy and Simone and you know what I mean, like a slew of
And
other
Rose.
like strong bitches. So it's one of those where it's like we in this cast can see some of these girls fall off. You know what I mean? So I can see it being an easier path for Gottmik to make it to the finals here as opposed to how it was the first time.
And she is learning from a very talented bitch. I mean, it takes a lot of talent to break a marble table.
It takes a lot of talent to steal a crown before you win yours. I mean,
but I will say too, one thing that I would be very, very happy with Gottmik is because I do agree she has been going a little bit more drag and less like artsy with her makeup and stuff like that. I hope that she doesn't fully revert all the way to that. I hope that we do still get some artsy Gottmik looks in there with it too, because that's a duality that she has that a lot of the other girls can't do. You know what I mean? So,
Facts.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You can go ahead, David.
Okay. I'll be quick. For me, I do like Gottmik. I don't feel like she's out of place. Like she seems like a no-brainer for an all-star season, and I don't know. She seems like she's pretty on par with a lot of these queens. My only issues with Gottmik have more to do with her personality, because something about her, like she's almost kind of like a pick-me girl when it comes to other queens she's around. Like she really adapts her personality to kind of fit in, especially with whoever's like the mean girl. She will try to echo them. She's kind of like Yaya from Sandlot, who will just repeat what somebody else says if she like thinks that they're her superior mean girl. So
also throwing this in there to add to what you're saying, she is a Leo. So
okay. So I'm just wondering who's going to be that person for her. Who's she going to leech on and just echo everything that they're saying? Other than that, I think she's pretty talented.
Vanjie.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could see
They're
that.
already friends. She was on Vanjie's dating show.
I can see that.
Yep.
So
that's why I said that. Because I'm one of the few people that actually watched all of 24 Hours of Love.
why?
I saw the guy that she ended up with because I think they posted some Instagram pictures together. He's cute.
They broke
still
up,
together, I believe.
Wait,
Oh,
are
they
they still
broke
together?
up.
Or did they break up?
No, I think they're still together.
He gave me Fire Island gay.
100%.
Very Fire Island gay.
100%.
But I mean, Cameron out of drag is Fire Island gay. So I mean, are we surprised?
I mean, also like I live in Tampa, so everybody's a Fire Island gay here.
Not Cameron. I meant Brooklyn. See, I told you they're the same.
Mr. Fountain, what were you saying?
No, Brooklyn's an LA gay.
Yeah, Miss Mick, you know.
Actually,
not anymore.
All
Sorry,
that filler.
Miss Mick, she's a cool girl, you know. Ooh, ooh.
What happened?
What happened?
Ooh. I'ma start over.
What happened?
No, you're fine. She her in drag. It's okay.
Ooh. Okay. Miss Mick is cool. She's nice. She is very talented. It was interesting on her season. Whenever they have that storyline of like a beauty queen who can be so good at comedy, I'm in love with that. So I think she is very talented in terms of her makeup, her beauty, and comedy as well. I love her verse in Lucky. The way how she was able to go from that verse in Congratulations and then to that verse in Lucky in one season, everything. Like I love that verse.
So can
It's a
Yeah,
really good verse. I'm like
it
remembering
is.
it. That's
It
really
is.
good.
I was about to say, I so don't remember that.
It
Wake up,
is.
girls! It's now time to listen. And on your next
And
minute,
to
Mama
listen.
Ruth said that we're all born.
Okay, we're not gonna get a copyright strike today. We're not getting a copyright strike today, girl.
Cut that tea.
We're gonna stop
Cut that
talking
tea.
right now so we don't get copywritten.
Learn, baby.
Yeah. I agree with what Dawn said earlier. She can learn something from Violet. So I hope that she does take away something positive instead of knowing how to be difficult to work with and some of the other things. So I hope she took away something positive.
I hope so.
But other than that, I'm happy for her, and I hope she does great.
I can rap. What a gag.
And I hope that
Right,
there
check it,
is
babe.
a haunted house challenge just so we can see her scream again.
God help us all.
Gaga Tandra.
Miss
Mon-
Angie.
Grr.
Yeah. Now,
Where-
Mr. Talented with Jorgeous is me with Angie. This is my bitch. She was my number one from season 14. From the very beginning, I was like, no, this is my bitch. I'm thrilled. I think where Jorgeous is coming back a little bit too soon, I think Angie is that girl that can go like basically straight from season to season, pull a Katya, and I think she's gonna do fantastic because she has money now. Like she had everything it took on that season. It's just Willow existed and Cameron existed and Daya existed and Bosco existed. And so it was just very difficult for Angie. I think she is primed, ready. I'm so happy she's allegedly here.
I mean, like, her first half of the season was quite literally insane. She won the first two challenges that she had. Then she was high for like a hot minute, all the way up until Daytona Wind. Like she was literally in the high placement every single episode. And then like she kind of had some moments where she fizzled. I still think her Tammy Brown was hilarious. I don't care. And honestly, like she could have had a shot at the crown if she just had like one or two more victories by the end. But I think like where she just needs to, I just hope that she's able to keep going and keep that like upward motion going compared to her first season where it kind of was like she started up here, did really well, and then kind of just like fizzled out slowly. So hopefully she's able to kill it.
It's funny because for me with each season, I see girls that come in and I automatically go, okay, you're giving top 5 energy, you're giving winner energy. I have see some girls I'm like, okay, you're giving early out energy, you're not going to make it past the 3rd episode. And to be completely bluntly honest, Angeria was one of the people that when she walked in, I thought y'all cast this girl as a filler queen, but she has so much personality and so much charisma. Do not get rid of her early. And the way that she just like, in just her interaction with the girls at the table already got me upset because I was like, I feel like that she could be that girl that could be that diamond in the rough that we're like, whoa, we didn't realize that you were going to be the winner. You know what I mean? Like I saw that in Angeria, like the minute she walked in, and I was like, please don't do her dirty. Please, please, please don't do her dirty. And so I was so happy with how well she was received and how far she made in the competition. And I would love to be able to see her come back and just give more of that just like infectious Southern charm to the point where it's like, girl, I could borrow a cup of sugar from you if I needed to bake something. Like, you're just like that girl. Like, it made me happy when I saw her on the list. I was like, oh, this is somebody I'm going to actively be rooting for.
Yeah, I like Angeria. She's another one that I think maybe a year or two I would have preferred to see her in. So it might be a little too soon for me. But for me, what really stands out for her is her personality. She's so silly and goofy, and like that really endears me to her. I'll be honest, like I'm not the biggest fan of pageant drag. Sure, she has shown that she's more than just a pageant drag queen. But she's not somebody who always excited me every week. I like her. I respect her. Honestly, what I'm noticing is pretty much everybody here, except for Jorgeous, they were like in my like 4th through 7th favorites of their seasons. Like nobody's like one of my top favorites from their season. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, really, I would say Angeria is the only person out of everyone that's been announced already that I would have had in my top. I didn't see any of these other people making the top in their seasons.
I had Nina and Nick.
Hey, go ahead, Nina. For me, I love Angie. I definitely think there were opportunities for her to get that third win. Cough, cough, 60s girl groups, cough, cough. However, I definitely think, yes, exactly. It's that, Dawn, precisely. However, I think she had like a very similar trajectory in terms of like how she went to like Simone on season 13, where she did really well in the beginning, and then she kind of went down a little bit in the middle, but the only difference being Simone went back up and won 2 more challenges, and Angie just didn't. So I am very happy that she's back. She is definitely somebody I'm looking out for to make it to that top 4, top 3, however much we're getting. And I definitely think she has a shot to win.
Yeah, I agree with almost everything you guys said. She was a good job in her season. It was just kind of sad to see her downward trajectory the second half. She almost always had great looks, good in the challenges as well, great confessionals. The only thing she could work on is her lip syncing. But other than that, I think.
And I think with Angeria, for me, because I feel like a lot of people have said that too, because I've seen some people that are just like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with Angeria's lip syncing, like the way that she commands the stage. And I'll watch the same lip syncs and I'll be like, she's doing a good job. But she ain't like, I'm not finna just throw $20 at her. Like, I'm gonna give her $1. I'll give her like $3 or $4. But like, I'm not gonna just like empty my wallet. Right. It's
Yeah,
like,
and
I'm not
she'd
gonna
be like,
and do that little hand. Like, it's cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah. But I'm like, girl, you're not like for real just bucking the house down and just really eating these girls up, you know?
I mean, hasn't she said that she's a parking bar girl too?
Yeah. She's very
and I
much
love a parking bar girl.
Maybe that's honestly what we need is maybe, and I don't think we've ever gotten that where Angeria's been put in a lip sync situation where the song is more of a park and bark song, you know, like because she did radio and
Telephone in the
J-Lo
gown.
So I'm like, if she would have actually
radio,
got a chance Don't Cost a Thing.
Love Don't Cost a Thing. And then
Grace
the
Jones.
closest she's gotten is I'm Not Perfect, but I'm Perfect for You.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, with that seemed like that fit her so much better than any other time I've seen her lip sync.
That's my favorite lip sync of Angie's, genuinely.
Yeah.
No, my favorite lip syncs from Angie are the ones that are not on the show, the ones that are on YouTube from before she was on Drag Race. And I watched all of those before season 14 aired, and I was like, this is my bitch. She's incredible. So
and sometimes it takes that, because I've been the same way with like Angeria Chanel Davenport. Like, I love Angeria, and I don't think Angeria has had some of the best lip syncs on the show, but off the show, child.
Yeah.
The way
I've seen her live.
To give her everything.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
She's Roxxxy Andrews, and she's here to make it clear.
She's the
We love
optometrist.
her, baby. That's why they brought her here.
The optometrist is back. my Orlando queen, who I have actually never seen perform live. But
Don't claim her then.
she's from Orlando. Don't come for the doll.
Wait, if that's true, then does that mean that I get to claim everybody that lives in Chicago now?
Well, you don't get to I'm just saying, she is a queen in Orlando.
You already do, sis. What are you talking about?
It's not my fault. Chicago is a hop and drag spot. That's not my fault. That's just how we flex.
Mama, Roxxxy Andrews is the drag queen's drag queen.
True. Very true. Very true.
She is so talented when it comes to honestly just doing drag. If that makes sense. There's when I think of a drag queen or when a normal person, when I think of a normal person thinking of a drag queen in Florida, they're probably thinking about Roxxxy Andrews. You know what I mean? That big pageant girl who has huge makeup, giant eyebrows, cinched waist, definitely has ostrich feathers on, fully stoned gown, just giving what needs to be given. And honestly, I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready for her to be messy. I'm so ready for her to just give because let me tell you, she's the one. She's just the one.
For me, another really important thing about Roxxxy Andrews is as a drag queen, unclockable, amazing at pretty much everything, right?
No.
But, okay, other than stand-up and roast, but whatever.
Comedy.
I said other than
don't ever come to Conscious Salad again.
Regardless, she's good at design. Shut up. Regardless, what I was gonna say is
give her a sewing challenge and she'll give you what you like.
She is a game changer for this show in so many ways. She was basically the first queen to do a proper reveal in a lip sync. Chanel half counts, I guess, but Roxxxy was the one who incorporated it into her number, made it an important part of the song. She also was really the first queen to get that All-Stars redemption that people seem to want over and over and over again, where the fandom really was not a big fan of her coming out of season 5, where she got that villain edit. But after All-Stars 2, I don't know anybody who doesn't like her.
What?
What? No. Okay.
You say after the years after All-Stars 2.
Been in the top 4, but I don't think anybody actively dislikes her.
They did.
People were upset that she was staying so long.
Back then they did.
After All-Stars 2, everyone hated Roxxxy.
Yes.
Dragged her.
Yeah.
Because she was in the bottom every week and never went home, which was never her fault. But still, they took it out on Roxxxy.
Yeah, they blamed her.
And even her verse in the Reggie Wrote You, they didn't like at the time.
Right.
Now it's iconic.
But
it's been 6 years since All-Stars 2. Things have aged well, and I think her reputation in the community just gets better and better every year. I think her lip sync assassin performance on All-Stars 5 definitely did not hurt. So she's incredible. Big fan.
Yeah. The question is, does she want to be seen as the mean girl, or does she want to be seen as the person who overstays their welcome? So sure, she had 2 different journeys, but I'm hoping that she has a different journey this time. I'm really hoping she can have a full redemption story and show us why most of us did like her in her first season for her talent, even if she kind of rubbed us the wrong way near the end of the season. But I think she definitely has the potential to win over a lot of new fans. My biggest concern is that I saw her a couple weeks ago in my local bar, and she just phoned it in with her performance. It was the laziest 2 performances I've seen from any Drag Race girl at my local bar. She just walked around, took dollars, did nothing, no moves, no attempts at anything. So,
and you wish you could. And she literally, I love her. I've seen her performances lately at Southern Nights Orlando. Homegirl is just literally walking around in a tip around on stage and getting money. And honestly, she's living the drag queen's dream.
Yeah, but Coco was also here last week, and Coco worked for every damn dollar she got.
That's valid.
I will say this. I'm glad you said that. One, going back, I completely agree. with what you said earlier. Like she's the drag queen. Like when I first started getting into drag and I started seeing some of these drag queens making it on RuPaul's Drag Race, like girls that we've known about before Drag Race even started, like her and Asia O'Hara and Candy Davenport and you know what I mean, and
Pork
Trinity
Chop.
and like right and Pork Chop, like those like old school like EOI America, US of A, Continental girls and stuff like that. I was like, oh, y'all they're finna come. They're finna show these girls what real drag is, this, that, and the other. And so I hated the fact of how things went for her for season 5, but then All Stars 2 didn't make it look any better for her because it looked like she was just coattail riding the whole season. And so I do feel like this could finally be the season where people are going to put the most respect on Roxxxy's name while she's like actually going throughout the season. You know what I mean? It's not going to be something where after the season's over with, then everybody falls in love with her verse, or then everyone remembers her runway looks. Like, no, people are going to put more respect on her now doing all of that. But in that same token, with what you were saying, David, I do feel like that her, along with some of the other older pageant girls, because you have to also look at it this way, Roxxxy Andrews was like legendary in the drag scene because she had won almost every national pageant that you could win, not just the regular divisions, but plus size divisions as well. Like when she was heavier, she basically won everything that was all plus size, and then she lost weight and came back and won all the regular stuff too. So like she is in that.
Plus.
Yeah, she won Continental Plus, and then she came back. Well, she's been doing regular Continental now, but like she was a former America Plus, she was former USA Plus, she was former I think All American Goddess.
I was gonna say I think she's AAG.
Yeah, All American Goddess, like a good amount of those things, and so like that is something that happens in the drag community where those girls will get so tenured and get so many crowns that they do fall into that mode of being like, well, I'm just gonna walk around. And I'm just going to take this $1 here, this $1 here, and y'all are just going to give me a whole bunch of money. So, like, I could see Roxxxy doing that. I feel like the reason why Coco didn't do that, though, is because, and this is just how the world works, there's still a connotation depending on the spaces that you're in when it comes to Black queens and Black entertainers. I feel like that if Coco would have tried to do something like that, people would have chastised her more. It's almost like we always have to be on as Black entertainers. And if we do try to decide to do that park and bark kind of thing or whatever, no matter how many crowns we won or whatever, because Coco is very, very, stocked in her drag portfolio, just like Roxxxy is too. They wouldn't look at them the same. Mm-hmm. They would put more respect on Roxxxy than they would on Coco. So it's almost like Coco does have to work herself down to the bone. She doesn't get a chance to like say, okay, I've done everything I need to do, so now I'm gonna walk around and collect my wares. It's like she always has to work. And I've noticed that with a lot of up and like legendary like Black drag queens. Like I saw Tommy Ross once perform, and I thought that Tommy Ross was going to walk around and just collect money. Tommy Ross actually got out there and worked the stage, and I was like, "Girl, what? You're like grandmother to like every legendary drag entertainer ever in the world. Why are you doing this much work?" And I'm just like, well, as Black queens, we don't really get the leisure to take off days on stage, I guess I would say. So I hate that
Tommy Ross was a headliner at our Pride last month too.
Yeah, like Tommy Ross is one of those people that's like that for me. Out of anyone that does drag, I feel like Tommy Ross and Erica Andrews for me were the two only people in the world that could stand in one spot and everyone should just walk up and give them money and they shouldn't have to perform. That was just me in the back of my mind. I was like, those two people are the only people that can qualify to do that. All the rest of y'all need to get on stage and actually perform. But it is what it is.
And like there are even videos, just to like reference somebody who has recently been on and is known for being a performer. Like before she was on Drag Race, even Sasha Colby was doing it. Like I know there's this video at Mickey's of her literally going on stage and going like this, literally just this, and then people are literally throwing money at that girl, like because like and like you said, I think like the same thing. Looking back at it, like I've never seen a Black entertainer that's had that luxury, no matter how many.
And the only times I feel like I have seen something similar to that is when they've been in majority Black spaces.
Mm-hmm. Period.
Yeah, like I can see a club in Atlanta going crazy for Angeria in a bathtub perform. You know what I mean? Performing, just walking up to give her money or whatever. But if she tried that shit in Fire Island or something like that, they will all be like, okay, you're not doing enough. Like it's
for real.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with everything all y'all said, so I'm gonna just be quick. Like, she's great. I'm excited to see her. Yeah, I'm happy for her. Hopefully she gets redemption this time and she'll do great. So I'm happy for her.
Yeah, I feel like she's another person just like Gottmik, where they brought her back because they knew that she deserved another chance for what they wanted to show for her, and was kind of like, okay, because I feel like that they were originally anticipating that All Stars was going to be Roxxxy's big redemption. You know what I mean? And I mean, in ways, yes, she did get more of a redemption when it came to her personality, and everyone like not seeing her as the villain, but her drag and what she was doing on the show constantly kept getting discredited because she kept falling to the bottom every single week. So it's like she really didn't fully get the redemption. Like, she didn't really fully shine as Roxxxy Andrews as much as they wanted for her to. So I could easily see them bringing her back and be like, okay, girl, this is your chance. We're not going to put too many comedy challenges up in there. We're going to give you more design challenges, more makeover challenges. Let's see what you can do.
So this is pretty much the cast that we are very certain is there. There are 2 other queens that are rumored to maybe be there, and their social media presence does reflect that they might be on this season. I'm going to throw both of them on screen, and we can just talk about them collectively and then talk about the season as a whole and what we know allegedly of that. So the first one is Chanel from season 1. Who I love. And the second one is Janey Jacké from Drag Race Holland season 1, as well as UK versus the World season 1. She was someone that was offered All Stars 8. She was one of 4 girls, I believe, allegedly, that was offered a spot on All Stars 8 and didn't take it. And may or may not be on All Stars 9.
So, as someone who is familiar with Chanel, I will speak on her and leave the JDK discussions to others. First off, Chanel, one of my favorite contestants in Drag Race history, just for the drama of it all.
Ever.
I need the delusion. I need everything. I just need her on my screen again, just for the specific purpose of her getting 4th for a 3rd time. Secondly, put some respect on her name. She has done quite a bit. You know, she was a lip sync assassin on this past season of Drag Race of All Stars, winning that lip sync.
She stole money out of someone's purse.
Exactly.
Allegedly.
And perhaps most importantly, probably the last time I get to talk about this for a while, she is the winner of the Great Christmas Light Fight. So we wait to put respect on her name.
I love Chanel, and I've loved her since OG season 1. We all can be completely honest. If we've seen season 1, we know she was supposed to be in top 3. She didn't get it because she pretty much took herself out.
She sent herself home.
Like, pretty much.
Logan told me I'm pretty.
I think I should be eliminated.
Like, she's like, because I don't want to be here anymore. And the gag when that happened. But I also feel like that she's another girl that if she comes back, this possibly could be one of those things where it's like, we want to give you a little bit of a better run. I feel like that they've done that a lot with a lot of the All Stars 1 girls, because collectively a lot of us didn't like All Stars 1. Not to mention the fact she ended up kind of being the Gottmik to Chad's Violet for the whole season. So she didn't really get to shine that much. She kind of was just her accessory. So this could be a great way for Chanel to actually get a little bit more respect put back on just her, like, by herself and what she can do. Personally, I don't want Janey Jacké there at all. I'm not a Janey Jacké fan at all. And a good amount of it, honestly, part of it stems from, I didn't really see her original season, but watching her on UK versus the World, I did not think that she was really clearing the girls. Like, she just swore up and down that she was wanting to. But then the main thing that brought me an issue, that had me have an issue with her, was after the show. I don't know if you guys remember or not. She got into some Twitter trouble where she made a comment basically referencing the Sweetest Pie song with Megan Thee Stallion and Dua Lipa, and basically said that the song would be so much better if Megan Thee Stallion was not on it at all, which then led to a good amount of Black Twitter dragging her from every little inch of hair that she had to not only let her know that, 1, it was Megan Thee Stallion's song, Dua Lipa was featured on it. So you're kind of saying that the main person who sung the song shouldn't sing the song. And two, Janey Jacké seems to be a very, very colloquially loose, using a black scent when she is not in drag, when she is talking to other people or referencing other people or having conversations. There's a lot of AAVE, there's a lot of slang. So it automatically comes off as being like, wait a minute now, girl. How are we making these decisions and we're making these choices that seem very weird and off towards black entertainers and this, that, and the other, when you seem to be doing the I'm the cool white girl that's cool with the black girl kind of voice. Like it was very disingenuous to me. And it was one of those kind of things where it just really pulled me out of like just not really caring for her. So like if she's there, it's whatever, to be honest. I hope she goes on first.
Eve, you set us up. You set us up. We can't even say anything nice about Janey now.
You know what? I will. What I will say, I was not aware of that situation, actually, if I'm being honest. I wasn't aware of that situation. Obviously it happened because you said it did, and I believe what you say is truth. I think what, for me, I appreciate what Janey has done on Drag Race. Specifically Holland season 1. I mean, that season was set up for Envy Peru to win. Also, go send Envy Peru some love right now. She's going through it.
Yes.
Yeah, go send Envy some love. What I will say is I think Janey on Holland season 1 was spectacular. For me, and again, I am going to sit here as a person who is not black and say, from my experience watching Janey on television, I didn't really get a whole lot of inflection and colloquialism of AAVE. But again, I'm sitting here as someone who is not black. So that's just my perspective on that specifically.
And it was really one of those things where it's not really like she's sitting over here saying like saying the N-word, or anything like that. But it was a very, very, very similar to how Laganja was portrayed on her season, and people being like, "This doesn't fully seem like you. You don't always do the yes, mama, and the neck rolls and the this, that, and that." It was a lot of that from Janey, and so it was one of those things where it wasn't flat out her just using black slang, but it's the equivalent of her almost like everything that she did or said or the way that she acted seemed like it was almost from a black meme of some sort, and I was just kind of like. Okay. What I was like, is that your personality? Is that your actual personality, or is this the personality that you think is cool for TV?
Sure.
And that, you know what I mean? So that's really my main issue is like I said, I wasn't the craziest about her drag, and so that I feel like is the biggest reason as to why I'm just not a big Janey Jacké fan. This is more leaning on how she was outside of drag as opposed to her drag. I feel like if I would have just been obsessed with her drag, I probably would have tried to I wouldn't have tried to cut any corners, but I feel like I would have, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have been so just
absolutely.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I never got a chance to initiate that connection with her before. So that all like my main connection with her was off of UK versus the World, and then everything after that. So I was kind of like, it just put a bad taste in my mouth.
She didn't have the world's best showing on UK versus the World.
Yeah,
she had a great showing on Holland season 1.
And I heard so many people tell me that, and that's why I was so excited for UK, because I was like, oh, I didn't see Holland season 1. People were acting like she should have won the whole thing. Okay, let's see what she's got. And when she was coming out with everything, I was like, this is very safe. I was like, this is very safe.
There was only, I believe, a year and a half between the filming of Holland season 1 and UK versus the World. So I think that
she might not
also
have a chance to get
a little bit.
I think it was 6 months.
All right, it was some.
Wow, that was quick.
I know Logan spoke, but the idea of Holland versus the World just sent a shiver down my spine.
Not Holland versus the World, please.
So, again, like Logan said, I'm not black. I can't speak on black experiences. But Janey Jacké, based on what I've seen on TV, and when I've met her in person, is one of my favorite drag queens of all time. So and just because from what I've seen from her on Holland, plus what I've seen on Versus the World, one, she produced my favorite lip sync of all time against Pangina, because that is one of my favorite songs. And pretty much when I just love the aesthetic that she brings. One, she was so messy on Holland season 1, too, like with the drama that she brought. And I just live for a girl that like isn't afraid to like say
Do I need to
what's
go
on.
back and watch Holland season 1?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
really messy. It's
Okay.
really messy. It's cute.
Okay.
And that's one of the only international seasons I've watched. But I really enjoy her. I enjoy her drag. I mean, like, she was the only other person to win a challenge, like more than one challenge other than MV Peru on that season.
Yep.
Like, there were 7 episodes and she won 2 and Envy won the rest of them.
No.
Everyone 4.
Didn't
No, Mama
Chelsea
won.
Boy?
Mama Queen won a challenge. Janey won 2.
Envy won. Were there
Right.
8 episodes? I thought there were 7.
There were 7 competitive episodes and a finale.
7 in a finale. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But still, like, she did a fantastic job. Like, yeah, maybe her showing on UK versus the World wasn't the best, but she did win a design challenge as well as what was the Rusical. She's the only queen to ever win 2 Rusicals, which I think is very impressive in terms of that. I really enjoy her. Her drag, her aesthetic. I think what she's going to bring this time after what has it been like 2-3 years since filming UK versus the World by the time this is going to be airing, like we're going to be seeing a lot more. And I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah. I'll give my thoughts really quickly. So Janey kind of breaks the streak for me of people who were not in my top 3. She was in my top 3 on Drag Race Holland season 1. And also, I believe she's the first and only drag queen to show unblurred penis on Drag Race.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. It happens. It happens.
Okay,
In
maybe
a
I do need to
nude
watch
photo
Holland.
shoot.
When did
It was in the nude photo shoot.
Yep.
She
Because I was like,
she
when do-
flopped it. She flopped it. She showed it.
Okay,
But
maybe I
anyways,
do watch it.
I do like Janey a lot based on her first season. Her second season was all right, but I would like to see more of an audience get introduced to her, and I hope that she can really bring back that season 1 of Holland energy into this season.
The messy. You want
yeah.
the messy on this season.
Right. As far as Chanel goes, though, I'm excited to have Chanel back for entertaining TV. But for me, that's because Chanel is like a naturally annoying person, and she's going to be that delusional character that is going to rub people the wrong way, including viewers. So I'm excited to see that. She's not somebody whose drag excites me. If this was an elimination season, I would hope she would go first, but it's not. So she can stay and be annoying.
We do not. No, we are not
What?
slaying Chanel
You don't
like
like
that.
Chanel's drag? What?
Nah.
David doesn't like old school drag.
Oh man, I will have to say when it comes to like stuff, it like that was one thing that I like. I don't know, and I guess that, like I said, I'm from Southwest Missouri originally, so like my introduction to drag was America Girls and US of A Girls and pageant girls and stuff.
Oh,
and so
period. Like very Chastity Valentino type.
So was mine, Eve. We went to the same bar.
I know that. Yeah, Chastity's a friend of mine. Chastity Valentino's
Love
a friend of mine.
her.
Yeah.
Chastity's a friend of mine.
Chastity
Cheyenne
drink.
Valentino's a friend of mine.
Period.
Molten Decadence.
Oh, I love Molten Decadence.
Yeah, Taylor Madison Monroe, like those
Period.
girls. Taylor Madison Monroe is my sister. Like those girls were the ones that I saw when it came to like me knowing about drag, like Asia O'Hara, stuff like that. So like seeing some of the stuff that Chanel would wear and like the intricacies of certain things, like even when she came back for All Stars and she had that gown that was from like the casting of like, what was it, the Broadway production of Beauty and the Beast, and it had a tail on it and everything. I was like, this is everything to me. Like, that's what I want to see more of. I want to see more of Chanel coming back down the runway in these stupidly beaded, long, ostrich feathered, awkward looking gowns where you're just like, ugh, like that's like those are some pageant presentation gowns that you're walking.
No,
down the
for
runway
real.
in. Like I'm ready. I'm very ready for that. I will never forget though that Juju B said the funniest joke that I've ever heard anyone say on Drag Race to me was when she said that Chanel's Lucille Ball looked like she fell into a salt lick.
You know, and the other thing too, specifically with Chanel, though, it has been 10 plus years since she was on Drag Race.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been competed on Drag Race. Like, obviously, she was a lip sync assassin this season, but like, she's been gone for a while. And I mean, honestly, Roxxxy has too, because I mean, we feel like it was a recent, but season 2 of All Stars was like 2016, 2015 when it filmed. So, you know, both of them are people that haven't been on the show in a while, and it's going to be nice to see what, if anything, has changed for them and what they can bring to the show now compared to people who are having a quick turnaround like Jorgeous or
Right, who we've
Mick,
just seen already.
Jorgeous, Mick, Angie,
Angie.
recently, you know. Angie doesn't have to evolve. She's perfect.
I agree. I agree.
But oh my god, I never talked about Chanel. Also, to add on to what y'all are saying about Chanel, she was really like the first person to treat Drag Race like a pageant. If you think about it, like she fully was like, "I'm going to the pageant. I have my talent number. I am bringing out the bowling pins to juggle. I'm going to be bringing out all this stuff. I will be taking out my way to make good TV.
Right, I got a gag just in case I fall into the bottom and lip sync. Like,
right, like I think she came the most prepared for that season going in, and she was like, I'm not saying that she's the only one to take it seriously, but she knew that this was a competition, and she was like, I don't care if this is literally being filmed in RuPaul's basement. I am literally going to spend thousands of dollars to make sure that I am going to serve. You know what I mean? And I respect that she was like, even if I'm on this show, like that has no name right now, I'm gonna make sure that I am giving what the girls like. She's gonna say she does what she did what she needed to be done.
Yeah. I think that the downside that ended up hindering Chanel, and I mean, that's the reason why Chanel made it as far as she did, was because, yes, she took it seriously like a pageant, and she brought a better package than just about everybody else. But I think the one thing that she didn't anticipate on, which no one did because the show was new, was how much Rue's affinity for you plays into her decision as well. Because I think that's another reason, too, as to why we ended up getting Nina and BB as our top 2, was because not only did they do a good job on the show, but Rue really liked them. Like, their personality really won Rue over. And I don't feel like that Chanel's personality really won Rue over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and
Chanel could have brought the best package, but I don't know if she would have won her first season.
And I think that's another thing that, like, go into is that when they're expecting it to kind of be treated like a pageant, like, oh, this is what they want to see out of me. No, they want to see you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like RuPaul, like the reason why the people that do well are the ones that RuPaul takes affinities to is because they're being their authentic selves and they're bantering with Ru. Like, so that's just how it happens, you know? And I love that. Or they're just Jorgeous.
But I do love when you're able to see that connection that she has with certain people, and the person is a strong entertainer and a good entertainer too. It's almost one of those things where it's like, okay, you're on her good side, you're in her good graces, like you're good, like Jinx and people like that. It's like, yeah, Rue's gonna make sure you're taken care of. You're good.
Period.
Mr. Talented, would you like to give any thoughts on either of them? Because these I'm kidding.
Yeah, Chanel is great. Love her. I don't care what anyone says, she's not delusional. They portrayed it to be delusional, but she was doing good. Like, she was doing a good job. It's not like it was a milk thing. Like, no, she was doing good. She was doing good. I like her. The only thing I
think you're being a little bit delusional right now.
Was she not doing good?
She was. So hella in her delusion.
Oh no, it's not delusion when it's fact though.
You're doing good.
She did do good.
She did fine. I love her, but she did fine.
Objectively, she did good on season 1.
Yeah, she's not delusional. Like, she wasn't thinking she was doing better than, well, she did, but she wasn't thinking she was doing better than everyone else, and she was the worst. Like, she was doing good. But the only thing I have to do is watch my purse. But Miss Jacké, I don't really have an opinion on her. Really, she's cute. She's good. If that Eve said is true, then side eye. But she's fine. Happy for them, definitely.
Great. So that's that. That's what we've got What we think we know about the season is that it is supposed to be All-Stars 7 format.
Yeah.
So no one's getting eliminated. Allegedly.
Convenient.
Good. I'm happy.
And I think I'm also very happy with it.
I'm not.
I'm
Same.
not either. I feel like that's a
Same.
bit too convenient.
I want the girls to go home.
Yeah, but we wouldn't get this cast if that was what was
I know.
happening.
That part.
Yeah, because it
And-
makes me feel like that if they wouldn't have done it's like because I wouldn't want to see lip sync assassins in this scenario, but then also I wouldn't want to see them I felt like if they all had to lip sync against each other and send each other home kind of format, then that would really start pissing people off quick. Because certain favorites will fall in the bottom with lip sync assassins and just be gone, and then they'll be like, well, no, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I definitely think it's going to be one of those things where we're just going to have to see how things turn out, and see if the format works with a group of people who aren't winners of the show. Again, assuming that the tea is true, because remember, everything is alleged, so we don't know. But
also hopefully, is it going to be one of those scenarios? Sorry, it is going to be one of those scenarios where all they do is just gas everybody up the entire season. Like, if you're not going to send everybody home, put some of these folks in the bottom or something.
Yep.
And make it be competitive. Let it have stakes. I feel like with a non-elimination format, it's gonna be like, okay, well, I know I'm not good at sewing, so I really don't have to try. Switch up the format from what we're getting now, but I'm just curious to see how the non-elimination format would work for that.
Agreed. Well, that's that. That's what we understand to be the alleged cast of All-Stars 9. So, let us know in the comments below who you're excited to see, who you're not excited to see. Do you think Chanel is delusional? Do you think Vanjie should be back? Do you think Asia O'Hara should be on this cast?
Yes.
Well, it's about to be Asia O'Hara's Drag Race, according to Lala.
We're not starting that conversation, but
also,
y'all can comment below.
can we? Who's everyone's winner pick? If this is out of the 10 people, who would be everyone's winner pick?
Prediction
I have
or who we
mine.
want?
Prediction and who you want, either one or both.
Okay.
Nina
Pull up
West.
the toss again.
Is that
Nina
for
West.
both of yours? Is yours prediction and?
Yep.
Nina? Okay.
Nina West. And I just want names.
Roxxxy Andrews.
For both your prediction and who you think will win?
Yep.
A prediction and winner. Okay.
Someone.
Mr. Talented. Nah.
We're going in the line, y'all.
Yeah, I'll go next. My obvious favorite is Jorgeous, so yeah, her. Who I think will win, probably Roxxxy or Nina. Yeah.
For me, who I would want is probably Nina. The only people I think have a realistic chance are Roxxxy, Plastique, and Vanjie. I'll go with Vanjie.
Who I would want, Chanel. Who's probably going to win, Roxxxy.
I want Angie, but I think it'll be Nina.
Cool.
But I would be fine with Angie. I would love Angie winning.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure to do the YouTube things because we're on YouTube. So do the YouTube things. You know how to do them, so do them. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Cut Pod for all of your funny moments because that's what we are here to do. Make sure to get your merch. Link below. There was no merch shout out this episode, but get your merch. Link below. Follow all of us on Twitter because we're great. And there's the merch. Thank you, David. And cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye.
Wait, I just realized Lucy LeDuc is not on this cast.
Let's
Shit.